everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Growth Digger. I'm Akanksha Das, Director of Marketing and Communications at Growth Natives. Today's episode is something I think every marketer, founder, and product team needs to hear because we're talking about a problem almost everyone faces but rarely understands deeply. You're driving traffic, your campaigns are working, people are landing on your pages, but conversions still flat. So, what's going wrong? To unpack this, I'm joined by someone who works at the intersection of customer experience, UX, and growth, Rukman Singh, Senior Director of Customer Success and Experience. Rukman, great to have you here.
Thanks, Akanksha. Really excited for this one because this is exactly where most teams get stuck. They think they have a traffic problem, but in reality, they have a conversion problem.
Let's start there. Paint the picture for us. What does the situation typically look like?
It's actually very common. You've just launched a campaign, traffic is coming in, ads are performing well, people are landing exactly where you want them to. But then nothing happens. No signups, no demo bookings, no real movement in revenue. And that's when teams start tweaking surface level things, colors, buttons, headlines, but the results don't change. That's the moment where you realize it's not a traffic issue, it's a design issue.
And not just any design issue, but specifically a lack of conversion focused design, right?
Exactly, because good looking design is not the same as effective design.
So let's define it clearly. What does conversion focused design actually mean in practice?
At its core, conversion focused design is about designing with one clear goal, driving a specific user action. It could be signing up, booking a demo, making a purchase, whatever the business goal is. But the key difference is this: design is no longer just about how things look, it's about how things perform. Every element, layout, copy, color, interaction is intentionally designed to reduce friction and guide the user toward that action.
So it's really about aligning user intent with business intent.
Exactly. When those two align, design stops being decorative and starts becoming a growth lever.
This sounds like a mindset shift. How is conversion focused design different from traditional design approaches?
Traditional design often asks, does this look modern? Is this visually appealing? Conversion focused design asks very different questions. Does this reduce friction? Does this answer user hesitation? Or maybe, is this moving the user forward? So instead of designing for aesthetics, you're designing for action.
That's a powerful shift because suddenly everything on the page has a job.
Exactly. Nothing exists just because it looks nice. Every element either supports the user's journey or it's a distraction.
Let's get practical. What does good conversion focused UX actually look like?
It starts with understanding user hesitation. Before designing anything, you ask, why might a user not take action? Then you work backwards, map user intent, identify drop off points, remove unnecessary steps, and finally, make the primary action obvious and easy.
So simplicity is key?
Not just simplicity, clarity. A high converting page typically has one purpose, one message, one action. When users land, they shouldn't have to think, what do I do next? It should be obvious.
That's such a good snippet. Clarity over complexity. Now let's talk about something marketers love: data. How does data play into conversion focused design?
This is where things get really interesting. Conversion focused design is not based on opinions, it's based on data. You're using heat maps to see where attention drops, session recordings to identify friction, A B tests to validate what works, analytics to connect design changes to revenue.
So instead of redesigning everything, you're making targeted improvements.
Exactly. Small continuous improvements that compound over time. That's what turns UX into a growth driver, not just an implementation task.
One thing you mentioned earlier really stood out. Users aren't just browsing, they're trying to solve something.
Yes, and that changes everything. Most users come with intent. They want to complete a task or solve a problem. So, effective design supports that by focusing on clear calls to action, strong visual hierarchy, benefit driven messaging, trust indicators.
And I love this idea. You said users shouldn't feel converted.
Exactly. When done right, users don't feel pushed, they feel guided.
Let's bring this into real world scenarios. How does this show up across different touch points?
It varies, but the principle stays the same. For example, landing pages focus on one objective, not five. Onboarding flows reduce churn before it happens. Checkout experiences remove doubts. Mobile UX respects shorter attention spans. At every step, the goal is to help users move forward without confusion or pressure.
So it's consistency across the entire journey.
Exactly. Conversion isn't a page level problem, it's a journey level opportunity.
Why is this becoming so critical right now?
Because acquisition costs are rising. You can't afford to waste traffic anymore. If people are coming to your site and not converting, that's lost revenue. Conversion focused design helps you maximize ROI from existing traffic, align marketing and UX, improve continuously instead of redesigning repeatedly.
So it's not just a UX decision, it's a business decision.
100%.
Before we wrap, let's give listeners something actionable. What's a quick way to know if their design is conversion ready?
Ask yourself, is every page focused on one main action? Is design driven by data? Are marketing and UX aligned? Is testing continuous? Are improvements ongoing, not one time? If the answer is no, you're likely leaving conversions on the table.
That's a great note to end on. If there's one takeaway from today's episode, it's this. Great design isn't about being admired, it's about performing.
Absolutely. The brands that win won't be the ones with the flashiest designs. They'll be the ones that turn attention into action.
And if you're looking to build experiences that actually convert, you know where to find us. Thanks again, Rukman. This was super insightful.
Thanks, Akanksha. Love the conversation.
And thank you to everyone listening. We'll see you in the next episode.